ആണോ?
Yes.
Okay. Good evening all. UL Space Club is conducting 49th session of our webinar series. When pandemic hit all over the world and our day-to-day life were paused, UL Space Club members had decided to overcome all those barriers to connect all those science enthusiasts out there and to make knowledge open to all of them, and decided, and that thought triggered this monthly webinar series. And we had a lot of great speakers who opened up vast area of knowledge and opportunities in front of us. And today we all are happy that we are on the 49th session of our monthly webinar series. As we all know, we all are familiar with the 3 R's. It's been years we all are talking about the 3 R's: reduce, recycle, and reuse. But we never addressed the question, how do we reduce, reuse, or recycle things, especially plastics? And why can't we exploit the durability of plastics to repurpose it into new things, new potential things? Today, we are having Dr. Lisa ma'am with us to talk about rejuvenating Mother Earth and attempt. She is a professor of chemistry at NIT Calicut and chairperson of Sustainable Technologies. Welcome you, ma'am. And I would like to welcome our mentors and founder E.K. Kuttisa and mentor Shajil sir into this program. And I would also like to welcome each and every person who gathered here to this program. Before getting into the session, I would like to make some instructions for the participants, and also I'm very glad to announce the winners of our last month's quiz program. Nila K.S. from GHSS Cherthala secured first position, followed by Akshit S. from GSSS Airupara, who's on the second position. And Parvati A.R. from Government VHSS for Girls, Manakad, is on the third position. Congratulations to all the winners. And I request all of you to make sure that your mics are switched off. And if you have any doubts or queries, you can put it on the chat box. We will come across all your queries at the end of the session. And in the end, there will be a Q&A session during which you can speak up your doubts, and as well as we will come across all your doubts and queries. And there will be a quiz based on today's topic at the end of the session, and I request all of you to be a part of it. And I invite our mentor and pillar of support, Shajil sir, to introduce the speaker. Over to you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Shreya. I think you are a new face. Has been working under the curtain before the past 1.5 years. When we are so happy to introduce you here, and it's our practice. Especially our today's chief guest is a great lady, and you are the apt person to begin with. Okay, and a warm good afternoon to all. And today we are sitting here on the 49th session of our UL Space Club webinar. We thank the COVID pandemic it forced us to do this an event that become a national one, and it's a repository for the students of their areas of interest, as we are streaming it through our YouTube channel. Okay, anyhow, there is a heavy rain outside, but the few curious minds are gathered here to know a little bit more about the Earth. The Earth, the living planet, the only planet we know where the life is there. But as we are living there at the time, we are not aware of the impact of the effects we are making on this Earth as part of our comfortable life. Now we are going to see the other side of this, our life, and how much we are making the impacts and defects we are making to this Earth with our lifestyles. And we have a great speaker here. She is Dr. Lisa Sreejith. She is continuous supporter of UL Space Club for the first few years with us. And NIT is it's also a playground for our students. It's a coin term, and the NIT and its professors are supporting our students continuously, and we are getting support from other areas of science. And I take this opportunity to introduce this today's speaker, Dr. Lisa Sreejith. She is with a research experience of 28 years, and she still continues that, and her research is based on the sustainable development, especially to to control the pollutions and all these things. And we have a bliss, that is the plastic in our life, day-to-day life, but it has become a curse to the our planet Earth because of its mismanagement or some enormous use of this plastic. And it's a great problem. It affects our environment, and that thought made these great scientists to think about it, and she has made a solution for that. It's an innovative solution that is being accepted by the government of India, and we started a plan of converting this plastic to a valuable product. And I think that we will get the victorious story of that invention and that implementation and of that great project will be unveiled here within few minutes that we are awaiting here, ma'am. And Lisa ma'am is known to all our students and teacher community through the social media and through the newspaper. It's very familiar face to us, even to the high school students. And with her love towards our students and the community, that is the most notable thing here. And she's a postgraduate from Aligarh Muslim University, and PhD also, MPhil and PhD also completed there, and joined at National Institute of uh, Technology, Calicut, and she's engaged with the research work, and she has guided around 77 PhD thesis already there, and she's the chairperson of Center for Sustainable Technologies that has been established in NITC, and she has made a NITC plastic to fuel pilot plant chairperson also to execute her own invention here. And she was head of department during the period 2014 to 2018, and associate dean academics, and she was first year beta coordinator at NIT Calicut, and along with that she controlled and guided the ladies in that NIT as a warden to the ladies hostel. And one more thing, she is with a green vision, and she was the coordinator green mission activities in NITC. And we all know that the vegetable garden, she utilized all the garbages and made it to manures, and she produced very organic, the genuine organic vegetables, and supplied the students and the community. She has made it for even free of cost to the things. That was a great action by this professor for the common people, we think so. And I also remember that in an occasion I could see Dr. Lisa Sreejith was standing there when the tea was supplying. She was with a stainless steel glass with her, because to show her attitude against this plastic coated paper glass, and she is practicing it in life also, in management of plastics. And her attitude, it is not in preach, she is practicing it. So it's so wonder, and it's a real model for our students to uh, do all these things. And she is in recipient of best national teacher award in 2001 by CRSI India from Professor CNR Rao, a great scientist of India. It's a proud for us. And she has made research visit abroad, Department of Chemistry, RWTH, Aachen University, Aachen, Germany, and for a paper presentation software and conference. And department, she has visited Department of Chemistry, National University, Singapore, and Department of Chemistry, Monash, Melbourne, Australia, and she is continuing with her own projects and for the community, aimed for the communal upliftment of the downtrodden also. And we are proudly present our today's great speaker, Dr. Lisa Sreejith. And I invite all the students, veteran scientists, and our most admirable and honorable founder of this Youth Space Club, E.K. Kutisa, and our student fellows to have a glimpse of the action made by this great scientist to our community. I welcome Dr. Lisa Sreejith to present her views to our students. Welcome. Thank you.
Warm good evening to all who are present in this today's presentation. I'm very happy to see that many people they have joined here. Almost 46 persons they have joined, including Kutti sir and Shajil sir, and many face. I think it's familiar to me also, because at times I too used to visit the presentation, this online presentation, which happens to be on Saturdays. Those all topics which were interesting to me, there I also used to be here in these presentations. And today I am very happy to see that the topic is very familiar to each and every one of you. It is nothing other than pollution. Various types of pollutions we are knowing. We know the details. We know how it is happening, why it is happening. And at the end of the story, we don't have a solution for all these things. Even the thinking that why I should come forward to do the things when there is a proper government in the country. That is the main attitude or the hindrance for we to proceed further. But my request is that it is we who is the government. So it is our responsibility. And we all know the general comment also about the waste materials which we are creating. We used to say our waste, it's our responsibility. But in most of the cases, what we have seen is it is only to the periphery side, or only for a talk or for a presentation the things are done. After that, we are least bothered of what we are doing or how or about the ways which we have generated. We are least bothered for all these things. So I thought of those things and considered those things as a serious thing, because for a layman, all these presentations that will go beyond the head, and for them, the lectures or the presentations are not sufficient. They need things in action. So that made me to think of these things. And luckily, I got a chance to have a solution for these pollution aspects, or to the day-to-day waste which we ourselves are creating. So in my presentation, in the first half, I will be talking about pollution in general and the ill effects which has happened because of that. That's why I made my topic as Rejuvenating Mother Earth, the attempt which I have made. So, and I was happy also to share what all things which I found in my research with the young brain and with the veteran scientists of the club, so that more interactions I'm expecting, and the things can be taken forward for making our space, our God's own country, our own nation, or as a role model for the entire world at the last. So that's a vision, that's a dream which I'm having in my mind. So With this initial preface, with your permission, I would like to go to my presentation. Shall I? Shall I?
Yes, ma'am.
Please go ahead. Please go ahead. We are very, very happy to see.
Okay, sir. No, sir. Sir, can you change it from your side?
Well, sir, for us there is no problem.
Shall I start, sir? Okay. So today's topic is Rejuvenating Mother Earth, an attempt made by me in my whole research career. And I have made a symbol which you are seeing on the left-hand side. We all know, to have a control over these pollutions, plants, trees, they are helping us a lot. Almost all of these things which can be degraded, they were fully utilized by the trees and plants, and they give off oxygen, and they give off all the essential things which we are in need, like food, and many of our clothings also depend on these plant varieties. So that's why I have chosen the symbolic representation for rejuvenating Mother Earth with a small plant. And at the top, instead of a flower, the dream. The globe is not looking like this because of the pollution aspects. We are not able to see the blue sea or the other masterpiece which is supposed to be there on earth by the creator, but for the reason which I have shown you in the present slide, many of the things, they are not seen to us. Thereby, I think the topic, it's of relevance, and we need to discuss it in full stretch. The reason is it's having significant impacts on human health. It's having significant impact on the environment. And we know even the climate, it is getting malfunctioned nowadays. And no area of the planet is untouched by these pollution aspects. So, if it is touching all the parts of the planet, then we should be very careful, because it will affect our health, because the food which we are going to eat, that is to be obtained from this Mother Earth. The water which we need, that has to be generated here. And the air we breathe, that also should be from this Mother Earth only. And for these reasons, it was estimated that premature deaths, it is happening annually for the reason we use these natural resources without considering their impacts on our environment. This is our expectation. Around us, we would like to have the greenery. We would like to have the cool blue waters so that it will be a soothing effect to our sense. Above us, high in the sky, we need the sun so that the warmth which is produced there, that will make all these things to flourish. And below us, we need a fertile soil, a ground, so that it will provide us what all is in need for our day-to-day growth. So all these pictures which I have shown here, it is from my own institute, it is from NITC, and towards the end of the presentation, I'm having a video to present you, which is there as reserve. And you know what all are the sources of pollution. Some will be easily noticeable things, other will be less visible ones. In the less visible ones, we need to be very, very careful because that address to the pesticide content of food, that address to the heavy metals which is present in the environment because of our research activities or mismanagement of research activities, all which we are adding to the environment. If it is in the required proportion, that is well and good. It will be considered as a nutrient. But if the nutrients also, if it is considered, if it is made as excess, then they are going to leach out to the water bodies. And when we consume all these things, the pesticides unknowingly, or the milk, the fish, the meat, the egg, or even the vegetables, then ultimately what happens is the endocrine functioning, the endocrine glands of our body that will be affected seriously, that can give rise to various hormone imbalances. And the easily noticeable ones, that is more familiar to us. We often used to talk about the easily noticeable one, even the climate change, the global warming, all those things we used to discuss a lot. And whatever be the sources of pollution, they can be from various sources which I have listed in black, which you can read. And why we want to discuss it in full stretch? What are the impacts of these type of pollution, whether it is easily seen or less visible, whatever be the thing. The thing is the hazard. The hazard of a pollutant, as I told you, when it is getting affected, the ecosystem as a whole is affected, or for individual persons, the human health, if it is affected, that depends upon their toxicity, intrinsic toxicity, as well as their chemical nature. What I'm highlighting is all of us are having at least one four-wheeler in our house. And most of the time, when it is not in use, we used to keep their glass closed. And in a hurry, how many of us has taken care that before starting the things, before starting the motor on, we need to open the windows so that the air which is trapped in that need to be exchanged. Otherwise, we are going to inhale the polluted air. We won't feel it. From the smell, we won't feel it. We know many of the parts of your automobile, they are made of fiber. And we know fiber is nothing other than plastics. And what are plastics? Plastics are nothing other than polymers. And what are polymers? All of you are knowing, it is just like the beads in a necklace. It may contain lakhs and lakhs of molecules in a special way. So, when you are in your car, and if you are not opening your windows, what happens is back reactions or chemical reactions which might have happened because of the leaching of the materials which is used for the preparation of various parts of your automobile, you will be automatically inhaling them. And many things we have discussed or we have seen in newspapers. And who is the culprit? It is benzene. And benzene, you know, it is an organic substance. So it is not having a special smell when you are there in the vehicle. But slowly, when you inhale, the toxicity level exceeds and you will be proceeding to complications. That is one impact of pollution. Then the risk is related to how much of quantity it is emitting. The amount of benzene, if it is low, then you won't feel the things to the gravity which I mentioned here. Many a times, little ones and those aged people who are having less immunity, they will be affected. Exposure concentration, that is another aspect. How this pollutant, they can affect us. Then the ecosystem functions will also be at risk. And many of the time, the negative effects that will be more seen on the disadvantaged or the marginalized or on the poor people or especially vulnerable populations. The sources and type of pollution, they can be diverse. I was citing only one simple example which we are having in our day-to-day life. And the solution depends upon how we are going to deal with them. One another thing which I wanted to present here about the source and the type. Nowadays, in each and every house, we can see colorful paints. The color, it is just because of, we know, transition elements. Some can be hazardous in nature. Certain cleaning compounds, we are having different brands of cleaning compounds. We are having different types of dyes used for specific purposes. Even for our hair also we used to have dye. It is ammoniacal dye. In electronic products or in many other household substances, these all things, they have chemicals, and these chemicals, if they are not treated with proper care, they can act as a pollutant. So normally there won't be any problem with them, but the last word which I have added there, that is relevant if we are not managing them correctly. The right proportions, the right precautions, all those things, they are important. Otherwise, they can be fatal to us. Another category is highly hazardous chemicals. The first category was hazardous chemical. Second category is highly hazardous. And in that category, mercury is there, ammonium is there, ozone is there, perchloric acid are there. And from where we are going to get all these things? They are coming as an industrial waste. And the small exposures of these type of chemicals, they can give us malignancies or birth defects or genetic damage. In earlier days, in each and every house, we had greater number of children. 10, 12, they were a usual number in the good old days. But nowadays, after marriage, we have to have treatments so that we will be privileged to have a child. So where we have gone wrong? The exposure to these all things, the way how we are going to handle things. What I'm saying is, whenever we are going to a party, now the situation has changed a lot. We were given tea or coffee in the so-called paper cups. If it is made of paper, then why it is not leaking? How many of you have think of those things when you are getting a tea or coffee in a paper cup? That means some plastic coating is there inside. And a detailed study on these type of paper cups or disposable items where we happily used to consume things, all these chemicals, they will start into action, and the food which is served there, that will have these chemicals absorbed on them. We will not feel any taste difference, and we will have it, and in the long run, they are going to penalize us. They will get deposited in our body parts. Even in blood, it is detected nowadays. So the damage is the total health of a person that will be affected. Other than that, these all things, when we are littering, they will be directly coming to the environment. Then the third category is the normal substances, and many things we achieved by use of these nanomaterials. But if you are not taking care of these materials after their particular use, then they are going to affect us in a negative way. That's what I was trying to highlight. So the sources and the type of pollution that we have to be very much bothered about. We have to be very, very careful. And what is currently being done to address these types of pollution? The answer is known to each and everyone. The reason is it is not a new phenomenon. The thing is, it can be controllable or if it can be avoidable. But what we are doing is we used to neglect that part. Responses by government or citizens, they have limited the scope and the scaling up because of the neglect nature. Thereby, better knowledge or alternative consumption and production models for innovative technological solutions for all these types of hazardous materials. If you are able to tackle them, then we can have a control of these pollutions. But to what extent we are doing that we have to think of ourselves, because I told you, it is not the responsibility of the government alone. It is the responsibility of each and everyone who is here in this planet. So next time, when somebody is offering you a toffee, you have to think twice or thrice whether I have to consume it or not. If I'm using it, if I'm taking it, then the wrapper, what I have to do with that. If you're having an answer for the wrapper which you are having, which you are offered along with the toffee, then only we are supposed to have it. Otherwise, what happened? If we people are not using that toffee, then the person who has prepared it, the industry which has prepared it, they will think of alternative methods because it's a business. So in this way, we all can join hands and we can make the environment pollution free. With regards to chemicals and waste, we have seen many multilateral environmental agreements, and those agreements, they were made into actions. And I wanted to highlight the three major agreements which were made into practical utility. As all of you are knowing, Montreal Protocol that banned the ozone depleting substance. So many reformations that has happened in the consumption of, not in the consumption, in the new generation of our refrigerators, our air conditioners, etc., etc. The ban on lead additives in fuel, that again is an agreement made into action. Then, because of the Minamata problem or the disease, another agreement which made into action is the leakage of mercury into water. That also is now taken care, because these things, they are very toxic in nature. The trace amount of its presence that can lead to the total destruction of a whole space. Such legally binding approaches and the global level, they are needed and they are essential for addressing these type of critical and complex pollution challenges. And many other things that also need to be taken up as agreement. Once the agreement is there, we need to make them into actions. 7 Sustainable Development Goals of India, that also we all are knowing. Government is taking care of these things, and that is an opportunity to accelerate the implementation of these type of time-bound actions on pollution. And it is interesting to note that more citizens, more governments, they are coming towards sustainable materials management, taking care of less environmentally damaging chemistry. By the word chemistry, I'm literally meaning the chemicals which are mostly used in the chemical labs or research labs. Making use of clean technologies or effective methods for a comprehensive transformation towards a sustainable economy. And what are the benefits of addressing pollution? A pollution-free Earth, planet, that is the sign of the well-being of the current and future generations of all living things, not only humans. So, people have started tackling these pollution aspects, and that has brought about multiple benefits, even though we have to take care of many aspects in a broader sense, but things are already in the move. Projections indicate that further actions, they have the potential to enhance health. And for all these things to happen, it is not the responsibility of any single person or any single researcher. It is from the newborn to the elderly. If you're joining hands, then only this problem can be addressed properly, and then only we can take the benefit of a pollution-free environment. The first part already we have discussed. It was related to that agreement which was made into action. Moving to a less polluting and nature-based technologies. That is the need of the hour. Any technology that will not help us, we need to have nature-based technologies so that the byproducts, they will be very, very limited. If we can convert them mostly to water or carbon dioxide, that will be very fine. Even carbon dioxide, if it is excess, we know the after effects of greenhouse effect and all. So, we need nature-based technologies. We need waste recycling. When Shreya was giving the introduction, she was mentioning about the 3 R's: reduce, reuse, and recycling. The first 2 things that is possible, whereas recycling, that is having a limitation. Especially in the case of plastics, we cannot recycle all the plastics because plastics are of 2 different types. They can be thermoplastics and thermosetting plastics. And by definition, you are knowing thermosetting plastics, they cannot be molded back once they are heated and solidified. So how to recycle those things? So whenever people tell you, give your waste materials for recycling, you have to think of it. Whether all the materials which I am having as waste can be recycled. Majority of the things. I'm talking, I was confused for this word recycling in the case of plastics. For the other things, you can have better recyclings. The biodegradable ones, they can be recycled. You can be made it into compost. In the later part of my presentation, I can show you what I have done. So those are things that is possible. Whereas in the case of non-biodegradables, among the 3 R's, the recycling R, that is little bit difficult. So before going to a purchase, we have to think whether the purchase is highly needed. Am I going to purchase the things for a real need, or is it for a passion? Now in this month, in this RD month, we know RD sales are there, and many items we are taking to our home in the so-called woven plastic, which shopkeepers will tell you they are cloth. The woven plastic, it looks similarly to a cloth, but it is not. So we have to be very, very wise in taking things to ourselves. So what actions we can make to change the world a truly pollution-free area? We need solutions to help to remove the pollutants and detoxify our environment, that list that need to be expanded, shared, and scaled up to avoid risking further exposure of humans. The next one is improved risk assessment of new pollution sources. The third one is the implementation gap. They are very particular due to a lack of resource or just because of the inadequate administrative, financial, or other things, institutional or technical capacity, those things to be addressed. If these things are properly addressed, then only we can claim that we are living in a pollution-free planet. And for all these things, fund is needed. And the fund, for getting the fund, we need political will as well as interministerial coordination that also to be provided. So all these things, they have to go side by side. Then only we can we can dream of a world which is totally pollution-free. So in that context, I'm coming back to my title, what is the need of rejuvenation? Before us, how to protect ourselves? That is a question mark. If we are able to protect ourselves, and if we share the same thing to our friends, our colleagues, our near and dear ones, then only the entire planet can be protected, and that will be a big answer. Now it is a big question mark. So in our own humble ways, we have to think of it, we have to find a solution, then only this big question mark can be made to the shorter form and finally to the vanishing mode. The existence of nature, it is a proof of our own existence. And in our daily newspapers, we have seen the next point which I have highlighted during this lockdown period. We were in the lockdown condition. So the nature was trying to regenerate, and it was happily doing that. The birds, instead of the alarming horns and all, we were able to hear the chirping sound of birds. We were able to find or enjoy the breeze where there was no bad odor or anything of that sort. Flowers were blooming up very calmly. So we could see new leaves, new branches, and a total greenery all around us. But when the lockdown is lifted up, what is now happening? Are we going back again to the polluted world? No. Certainly no. We cannot justify that. So the question, how to maintain that? In the last flood time, we have seen what all plastics or what all contaminants we have thrown to the river during the flood time. It was taken to us, or it was given back by the river to us. And what we have done again, using a JCB, we have cleaned all those things and we have deposited it back to the river. And that is our common sense. And that part need to be corrected. We need immediate solutions. And that immediate solutions, that is leading to the deterioration of our own health and the life around us. So in that context, I will show you what all were my activities, my research activities. I'm also a chemistry person. I'm a surface chemist. So using those surface chemistry principles, I tried to incorporate it for waste management, and I will be very happy to share my results before you. So as you all know, these all are the origin for different types of waste materials, either from the household or from the industrial area. And we know, based on their properties, we can classify them as biodegradable or non-biodegradable. And read the last sentence. India produces more than 42 million tons of municipal solid waste annually. That is a big figure. This is my own institute waste yard, segregation yard. And similar is the situation if you are going to almost all waste dumping yards. Every year, this is the statistics, the world uses up to 5 trillion plastic items. Every year, an equivalent amount, it is dumped into the water bodies. And in the last decade, that is a painful thing. In the last decade, we produced more plastics than in the whole last century. So when we try to make our life enthusiastic, we are automatically generating more and more non-biodegradable waste to the environment. So this statistics, that is very much important. Thereby what I have done is, I made a strategy for the waste management with my vision as to make my institute and then my own state, Kerala, a waste-free green area, which is a healthy area. To prove that waste management is a viable thing, it can be done in a cost-effective manner, and in majority of the cases, it is financially sustainable also. That is my vision. And my mission is the development of a green state with all the things which we discussed so far as the mission. And how to reach this goal. And that is what I'm doing in this presentation also. I'm trying to create awareness of the problem which we are having around us. I'm compelling each and every one, the most lovable ones, or my dear and near ones in the audience, to practice the laws of nature. And how to practice this law? It should be with a dedication and with a commitment. So next time when somebody is offering you a tea or coffee in a so-called paper cup, I would like to underline that word, so-called paper cup. Just say no. Because now you know the paper cup is not leaking. That means something else is there coated to it. Why should I take it along with the tea and coffee? That should be the thinking. That is the thing which I needed or which I wanted by saying the word commitment and dedication. Just say no, nothing will happen. Slowly, in the next meeting, they will offer you tea or coffee in a porcelain cup or at least in a steel cup. If you are going to Tamil Nadu, you won't find or you will have, you will not see this much of paper cups there. In many of the households which I have visited, in contrast to this plastic research, what I have seen there is, in Karnataka also, what I have seen is, they are regularly using these steel plates and steel cups for almost all their activities. Exceptions are always there, but majority they are following that. They are not very happy to have the things purchased in carry bags. They are having their own carry bags. So now the custom, it is now practiced in Kerala also. So if any of us in the audience or in our relatives or friends, if they are continued to have the plastic carry bags with them, it is your responsibility to tell them in a friendly way, no, you should change your habit. And while changing the plastic carry bag to the cotton or paper bags, there also a villain is there. Externally, it appeared to be a plastic bag, paper bag, but internally there will be plastic coatings. So we have to take care of that things, and we have to say no to such agencies which are providing us. Then the next point which I wanted to highlight is to catalyze the attitude change. This is possible only when we are having an attitude change. What should be our attitude? We will not litter anything just like that. The very same Keralites, the very same Indian people, if they are moving to other continents, they know how to behave. Even a toffee wrapper, they will not spill anywhere. They will not litter anywhere. But as soon as we are coming back, we forgot what we are supposed to do here. So, why it is not happening when the same person is going abroad? There the laws are very strict. In our country, the laws are not that strict, or we are not penalized. So we need to have an attitude change towards the waste management and the environment among general public, which include officer level persons, NGOs, politicians, etc., etc. If you are able to do that, then only we will be able to reach the goal or the vision and the mission which I have presented before you. So what I have done is, under Swachhata Action Plan of MHRD, now it is Ministry of Education, I could get this plastic to fuel plant of capacity 20 kilograms installed at my campus. And this is the plant which I'm having there. Each reactor, they are of 10 kilogram capacity. They will be processed based on the patented technology. The highlight of this project is that I'm using all types of plastic waste without any sorting. What I'm doing here is a modified pyrolysis process. You know, pyrolysis is nothing other than heating in the absence of oxygen. It is practiced in almost all developed countries, pyrolysis. So what makes this one different is I have modified the pyrolysis part. And that is a technology which was granted Indian patent. So what was the modification? That I'm not going to disclose you. But the thing is that using that technology, you can process even the deadly poisonous PVC also in that plant which I have shown you. Then another problem which you always face is how to dispose of toffee wrappers, biscuit wrappers, diapers, sanitary napkins, etc., etc. So there is an ultimate solution for all these things using this technology which I have made into practice. I started with 4 grams in my lab. Then it was scaled up to 300 grams. Then it was scaled up to 1 kilogram. And now it was scaled up to 20 kilogram under this Swachhata Action Plan projects of Honorable Prime Minister. The highlights are, I could convert the plastic in a total manner to 3 fractions. There was a gaseous fraction, a liquid fraction, and a solid fraction. The gaseous fraction, it is having the similar composition of our cooking gas. The liquid fraction, it resembled to the properties of diesel, and solid residue was also there. 1 kilogram of plastic yielded me 750 ml of diesel and 75 liters of uncondensed gas and 30 grams of residue. For this, 60 units of power was used, electricity I have used for the total conversion in 3 hours time. The solid residue, it is equivalent to the wood or coconut shell charcoal in their chemical properties. And in our plant, what we have done is, I have used it along with cement to prepare paving bricks. Then regarding the biodegradable ones, I could compost it very nicely in an eco composter. The interior is shown on the right hand side, and this was giving me a good quality compost. And with this compost, all these vegetables, this is marketed through our vegetable shop of Center for Sustainable Technologies. And we are having fresh, pesticide-free, fertilizer-free vegetables in our campus. We started with 60 cents of land Now we are having 3.5 acres of land in our campus exclusively for these vegetables. The next thing which I have done is the crab or the shrimp. The flesh is taken as food. The outer bone-like material that is discarded always. The flesh is exported also, but this outer crust, that will always remain as a waste material. And this will give a very bad smell in the peeling areas. So once I have gone to such a peeling area, and that smell that annoyed me a lot, and that made me to this successful story. I could develop an implant, artificial cartilage from those shells. And that is also patented. If we are having a fracture, then naturally the bones can be replaced with a steel rod. But if something is happening to your nose or to your ears, the rhinoplastic surgery, that also is a costly thing. And I could find this material developed from this waste crab and shrimp shell for developing an artificial cartilage. So in vitro experiments, they were successful. Normal growth of cells that is happening when these tissues, these implants, when they were incorporated to the living cell. Then in vivo also, we have successfully done with guinea pigs as well as in rats. And now human trials we are trying to do with Dr. Roop Bhattacharya of Calcutta, where they were trying to have this artificial cartilage for rhinoplasty from the cartilage-like structures of goat. So this news also, it was there in Madhurabhumi 2 weeks before. So I had a talk with that sir, and we had an agreement for making use of this artificial cartilage developed in my lab for human trials. Then the next one is, whenever fish products, when they are marketed, we often used to listen about the presence of ammonia. So to detect them, various sensors were developed. And this is another development in my lab to detect the presence of ammonia in packaged food. If there is ammonia present, then the film will absorb those ammonia vapors and they will change its color. So the material, it cost about 10 rupees per piece. Now the available sensors, they are costly. So that is another advantage which happened in my lab. It is a cheap method and it is eco-friendly also. After use, I can throw it to soil so that it will degrade. So the material, it is developed from natural things. Then to the right side, what you can see is a wound sensor is developed again from natural materials. So every time if there is a dressing for your wound, you need not go to the doctor, or we ourselves can see whether the wound is healing or it is having some infections by noting the color changes of the sensor which is there to the band-aid like material. We will be able to sense it. So again, the advantage is that it is an eco-friendly thing, material, and it is transparent also, so that we don't need any specialized material to see the color change. To the naked eye also, this one is seen. So this is happening just because of the pH changes. pH of the wound and pH of a healed wound, that will be different, and making use of that aspect, we could develop this sensor. So this is now developed as a band-aid type, adhesive band-aid type material with this hydrogel embedded. So these are some of the things which I have done in my lab. And the slide is over, but I would like to take you to the video which I promised you. So that's all about my presentation today. These all are my simple ways of making the environment friendly. And for all these vegetables which you have seen, we were not using any fertilizer or any pesticides. So with my, that is my happiness to share my campus with all of you. And I hope the presentation that was useful to you, and you got some points to make yourself a sincere, sensible citizen who can be imitated by, or who can be followed by many others of your surroundings. Thank you very much. I will be very happy to have any queries on these topics which we have discussed here.
Thanks, Sreejith. I shouldn't take much time. I should not come between Dr. Lisa Sreejith and the eagerly awaiting students. But yet, I can't refrain from saying that, it's a very successful story made by human endeavor efforts and against the odds by Lisa Sreejith. I have had the good luck of knowing some aspects of her project. She had shared with me, and we used to occasionally exchange ideas and points and all that. That is why I have been alive about that. And now she concluded by saying that I have given some points, so maybe some points for students to ponder out. But you are not given some. You have got many, several points of thought process. A very effective, energetic talk. And that is, in a lush green vegetable garden, your seed, which is created out of waste, without fertilizer. Something very, very noble cause. And we are seeing science in action. Normally, science is taught, maybe in labs and in theoretical, but here we are seeing in the nature, science in the nature itself. It's very good. So it has taught us what each one of us should do and shouldn't do. Both has come out of your talk. So enrichment of environment has been the topic, and it's a very, very actually nature-based technology. The artificial cartilage you said, I want to know more about it, but not in this limited time where students have the opportunity to ask you questions. But new things are coming out of your bag. So and I'm also attracted by your excellent vision, your mission to realize the vision, and the ultimate goal. These are all things which a student should get excited and should make see you as a model to follow in their path of scientific progress. So thank you very much, Lisa Madam. It's so nice of you. Before I conclude, I just wanted to make an announcement. We have a program in NIT campus itself. NIT faculty has been of very great help and support to our students. And this time they have come forward to jointly host the Moon Day, the Neil Armstrong's Day, 20th July this month at NIT campus, one full day program. So I just, the details of that is being worked out. Dr. Maqbool Ahmad, who was instrumental, who is credited with tracing water on the moon, is coming to NIT that day to interact with our students. So please make best use of it. And those who are able to come and participate in that space camp, we welcome them. We will be making the announcement shortly. Thank you very much, Lisa Madam. Once again, thanks.
Thank you,
sir. My camera is not working, so I'm very sorry. I'm not able to say you my greetings. Thank you.
Thank you, Gutti sir, for your announcement also. Then Varun is there to invite the students and lead them to answer the question, ask the questions and get clarification from Dr. Lisa Sreejith. Varun, please proceed.
Thank you, sir. First of all, thank you, Lisa, for an exciting session. As in the starting of our session, you were talking about students should have a kind of a dream or a vision, which should be connected to the social issues that we are having, the day-to-day issues that we are having. So in that genre, this topic is so relevant, and we have to, the students have to do something related to this topic, like they can contribute in technical side by technical projects, and also they have to be bothered, and they should make others also aware about these kind of issues and the actions that need to be taken related to these issues, waste management issues and all that things. So I have 3 questions with me. After that, we can go to the direct interaction by students. Before going to that, I just want to add 2 points to what Kutisa have announced. We will have a quiz competition also for the students. The registration details for the space camp, one-day space camp, will be shared later through the channels of UL Space Club. And at that day of space camp, we will have a noonday quiz also, which will be conducted by the student panel of UL Space Club. For that, we will have a preliminary round on 19th of July through online mode. The quiz will be restricted only for those students who have been selected who will be selected for the space camp on NIT at NIT. So let's move on to the questions. First of all, I have a point to ask that, ma'am, you were talking about the waste management issues and how to dispose plastic and other non-biodegradable materials and all the things. So when as a teacher, don't you think that students should make this kind of should have this kind of an awareness in all kind of problems, not just waste management, because we have a lot of day-to-day issues which need to be solved in our society, particularly in our surroundings. So in that issues, all students, mainly this new generation, has an attitude like our society has a problem. Our society has a problem, and others doesn't have that problem. It's our issue. Our issue. They are pointing out the mistakes. They are blaming the systems and blaming the society for the mistakes, but they are not trying to solve that. They are just blaming or pointing out the mistakes. So, don't you think, as a teacher, don't you think that it's really important to students to have an attitude to solve that problem? When I always thought that that attitude should be there. If we are seeing a problem in our surroundings, it should be our responsibility to solve that problem. And don't you think in such a manner?
Yes, very much, very much. It is not only for students. It is for each and everyone in the house. If they are joining hands, then only your house and your premises will be clean. If such a training is there at your house, no, then you cannot behave differently when you are going out. You will not be able to litter the plastic, even the toffee wrapper in a common place. You will not do that. So training should be there, and for the training, there should be an attitude. I should not make the place dirty. Things will not get littered from me. That should be the attitude for each and everyone. And that training, that should be there from day, age 3 or 4 onwards. Then things are very easy. I'm not asking any of you to change your habits. You can just mold it, that's all. If you are using a ballpoint pen, if you are comfortable with that, fine. But don't throw it away at your will. Keep it to a place where it can be collected, where it can be given for this recycling. Why I am saying recycling? That the material of ballpoint pen, it is a thermoplastic one. So it can be easily recycled in that way. So you have to clean the things and you have to keep it, and then you have to be a headache to your ward member to collect these things from your premises. Then only things will work. So in my campus, this 20 kilogram, that is a successful story now. Now, Institute is planning for a 100 kilogram model so that we could process the whole waste of our campus in that plant itself. Then we are getting commercialization requests even from this Harbor Engineering Department, then from Trivandrum Corporation, Kottayam Municipality, even from this naval base we are having, even from Panchayat also we are getting. So very soon we will be having a tie-up with the government authorities also, so that whatever waste, whatever plastic waste you are collecting and keeping at your premises, that will also be automatically taken care. This is my assurance. Okay. So the attitude change should be there from your house, from within you itself. It should be taught anywhere. You will not get it from textbooks. You will not get it from internet. It should be inculcated within you. The answer is not to Varun alone, to all who are there before me.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
We will, all of us will try to make it as an habit in our life.
Yes.
So we have 3 questions sent to us to ask with you. After that, we will move on to students to directly ask the questions. So the first question is asked by Manasaki Krishnan. And her question is there any chances of toxic byproducts during the disposal of plastics using this plant?
Yes, that's why I told you this is a modified pyrolysis. In pyrolysis, what is happening? We are heating things in the absence of oxygen. So that mechanism I have also maintained in the plant. So there, waste gases are coming, toxic gases are coming, but that is not going to the environment. I have made an arrangement to make all these toxic gases to act as a catalyst within the plant, so that in the final version, when it is coming out, it will be having methane, ethane, propane, and trace amounts of butane. And these components, they are there in your liquefied petroleum gas, which you are having at your house also. Okay, so no poisonous substance is coming. Otherwise, the poisonous gases can be benzene, toluene, dioxins, styrene, all these things. They are all carcinogenic. That's the reason why you are not allowed to burn plastics in a common place. So that aspect is taken care. Is that answer clear?
Yes.
Go ahead, Varun, go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
You
Yes, sir.
offer the opportunity to students. Give it to opportunity to students.
Yes, sir. I have 2 more questions over.
Let the student ask directly. Yes.
Yes, sir. Actually, for the first question, Manasa was not able to switch on her mic. That's why I take on the chance to ask the question. So I would like to invite Shreya to ask a question about disposing the plastics. Shreya?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
I would like to ask, is there any limitations to this plant? I mean, is there any limitations like it can only be the plastics up to this micron can be disposed
No.
such that
No, assorted plastics. That's why I have made it in a bold more font. It is assorted plastic ranging from toffee wrappers. Toffee wrappers, it will not be of any use to, for any purpose, we cannot use it. It is of the lowest micron. So that can also be processed. Even the deadly poisonous PVC also can be processed. So the wide range, you are knowing, under every plastic item, there will be a code, there will be a number in a triangle. So we are having from number 1 to number 7. All those categories, rubber also, that also can be processed in the plant. There is no limitation. Even diapers, even sanitary napkins, all such things you can use it.
okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Ma'am, now I have a question from Arya Sudhakaran. Arya, I would like to invite you to ask the question directly.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, ma'am. I have a doubt. During this COVID pandemic, we had a high utilization of these disposable gloves and masks or these PPE kits. So what are the solutions that we can be implemented as soon as possible to dispose these masks and PPE kits without harming the environment?
All these things we can safely manage in the plant which I have designed. It is possible.
Okay, ma'am.
We have tried PPE kits, we have tried gloves, mask, everything. Everything which is mentioned as plastic, coming under the category of plastic or rubber can be processed here.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. That were the questions sent to us. That were the selected questions. And now I would like to invite any of you can. Okay, there is one question in the chat window. Niranjan K. Manoj. Niranjan, you can switch on your mic and you can ask question directly.
Ma'am, I have a doubt
Yes.
about net zero implementation and carbon neutral idea.
Yes.
So, ma'am, what's your opinion about carbon neutral and net zero implementation to conserve our environment?
That is again an agreement, and that is again a dream that we have to make our environment to the carbon neutrality. But zero cannot be achieved, but we can make it to near to zero values. That is the possible thing, and all possible things which can help in reducing the carbon footprint, that we have to utilize and we have to practice it without having any intervention from any authority. All who are knowing about these things, aware of these things, or wanted to have an attitudinal change can only contribute to the nations achieving to this what is that, carbon neutrality. So that is from every action. Global warming, that is because of the enormous release of all what is not wanted to the environment is there. So how to control it? Whenever you are moving out from your room, immediately switch off your light and fan. Okay. If you are having an opportunity to make use of ink pen instead of ballpoint, use it. When almost all the people, when they are making use of such things, then that factory can be shut down. We can make use of that things for anything which is novel in their idea. Like that. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Ma'am, now we have Neela is there to ask a question. She has raised her hand. Neela, you can ask the question.
Ma'am, my question is that, as we all know, microplastics are being a threat to aquatic animals such as sea turtles, which is already endangering seagulls and small-sized fishes, etc. So, what are the eco-friendly, innovative solutions that we can apply to save these creatures? Is it possible to evacuate microplastics completely?
It is not possible as such. The thing is, already we have dumped a lot of plastics to the environment. So how to remove all those things? Slowly we can have a change. The important thing is that as students, as sincere inhabitants of this earth, from today onwards, from this moment onwards, we should purposefully stop littering any of the things, so that in the next moment or in the next couple of months or years, they will not get converted to microplastic. In that way only we can help it. What all is already there in the environment, we are having limited scope of converting them because they are non-biodegradable. No possible way of a natural method to convert them to a degradable one. There is no solution for that. The thing is that from now onwards, we have to take care of this aspect, that I will not litter anything. If you can make such an oath to yourself, not to me, not to US Space Club, it is for you. If you are taking an oath, try to implement it. Then you will have a control over the next generation microplastic. This way only we can reduce the problem.
Thank you.
Now, ma'am, we have Adidev to ask a question. Adidev?
Ma'am,
Yes.
what is, in your opinion, the most eco-friendly way of producing electricity?
electricity. Now we are depending upon the thermal as well as the hydel power. Hydel power also is not eco-friendly. The thermal also is having its own demerits. But what all is practiced now, we have to continue those things. We cannot alter those things. Even nuclear energy we are using, but that won't be a friendly method. The thermal method that can be used for these type of energy generations. Even the plastic which we are having, in my plant, I have converted that to diesel. And with that diesel, 2 days, my entire plant was working on that diesel, which was converted to power. So that way also we can. Another better opportunity is solar paneling. But now it is a costly affair. The panels, they are costing more. But anyway, those things, the cost is now getting reduced. Still, they are costly. If you are making use of all these various possibilities of trapping energy from various sources, then only the need of our electricity can be maintained. I mean thermal, this solar, all those things. So in your ideas, you have to generate materials which can be low cost. If you are able to, who has asked me the question?
Adidev.
Adidev, if you can visualize preparing a solar panel which is of low cost, then that will be an achievement. So think of that. Okay. Then only the cost can be reduced. When many people research, they are taking care of all these aspects. And when many join hands, even school-going students also, they will be having better ideas. So how to improve the capacity of solar panels, how to make it eco-friendly, how to make it cheap. These all are the things which you have to find a solution so that better harnessing of solar power for a better electricity production that can be achieved.
Adidev, you got it?
Yes, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Adidev is one of our, I think, youngest student. Isn't it, Varun? That same Adidev, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So Adidev, it's very nice to hear you again and again. He's a fantastic boy and very great promise for all of us. Adidev, one or two other things also I'll just add to what Lisa madam said. See, there is wind energy is harnessed in some places where wind is freely available, particularly in Tamil Nadu and some areas of our country. I have seen it in Europe. It is happening very prominently. And tidal energy, tidal waves is another thing. But these are all, not harnessed very much. Maybe because of the cost involved. As Lisa madam said, solar, it's a costly affair, but that also is an important thing. So, but you people, you young students can ponder over it and find better and better methods of, harnessing energy from the nature itself. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. So that were the questions. Any other student who want to ask the question can come forward to ask the question. Any other persons?
Hello, Mr. Sundaramurthy is there? Is Mr. Sundaramurthy available?
Yes, sir. Sundaramurthy sir is in the chat.
Hello. Hello, sir. Mr. Sundaramurthy, any comments? I think he seemed to. Okay. Carry on, Varun. Carry on.
So, if anyone else doesn't have any questions, we can conclude our question answer session. So, before handing the mic to Sreejith sir, I have to announce that we will have a quiz. Sreena already announced that there was a quiz competition in the last webinar. Also, we continuously conducting quiz competitions connected to the same topic of what a webinar says. We are conducting a quiz on that. We have done 48 sessions of quiz competitions. And now we have the 49th session of our quiz. It will be active. The link will be shared in the chat window. The quiz will be conducted in Google Form. It will be active only after the vote of thanks of this session. And there will be a prize for the first prize winner, and it is sponsored by Cinderware Nurture. So stay tuned to get that link. Please try to attend the quiz. I request all participants to attend the quiz. And as Kotisa said, we are the Monday program coming ahead, and after that we are having a few more grand programs on the UL Space Club, and there will be a lot of opportunity for students. I request all student participants and all other participants also to attend and support the activities and to be a part of this nurturing environment under UL Space Club. And I'm very happy that I just want to share that happy thing because after this session, we are moving on to the 50th session of our webinar series. We just started our webinar series during the pandemic era to make some programs for the UL Space Club members just to conduct 4 to 5 webinar sessions. And later we decided to conduct it regularly. And first we conducted it as a weekly webinar series. And later we started thinking about a monthly webinar series when the schools were open. And now we have completed 49 sessions of webinar series. Now on next month, we will have the 50th session of our webinar series. Very happy to share that news with all of you. So thanks for attending all our sessions, and we expect your participation and support from the mentors for the upcoming programs also. Thanks for that. And once again, thank you, Lisa ma'am. We will take all the points that you have shared with us. Especially, we won't say again, like after throwing a plastic into the road, and after that, we won't say that our society is not clean. I request all other students also to drop that attitude. Please don't try to do that. And it's our responsibility to make our society clean and to solve the problems in our day-to-day life. And we have to use our science, technology, engineering. Our UL Space Club is conducting programs based on STEM, science, technology, engineering, mathematics. We have to use all the skills acquired through this platform to use it in a better way to make our day-to-day life as an easier thing and to solve the problems like waste management, like water resource management, all other issues that we can see in our surroundings. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for an exciting session. Thank you for motivating us. And I hope that not just sharing information, but it was really a good opportunity to understand about the possibilities and opportunities that students and researchers are having in this kind of a field. So I hope a few of us will be motivated and inspired to join this kind of research areas. So thank you, man. Thank you so much. And I would like to move on to Sreejith sir.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Good evening.
Array, your mic is off.
Hello. Good evening to all. I'm here to do the pleasant task of acknowledging the wholehearted support of UL Space Club in organizing the 49th monthly webinar talk by Dr. Lisa Sreejith on the topic Rejuvenating Mother Earth and Attempt. Humanity's long lost toxic love affair with disposable plastic is shocking the world's rivers and seas, threatening wildlife, contaminating the food chain, and helping to drive the climate crisis. COVID pandemic has actually made things worse with the use of disposable masks and gloves, etc. And in this context of increasing population, this indeed is a very relevant topic that we need to be addressed more seriously to protect our blue planet. As Lisa ma'am earlier mentioned, what our government can do is to enforce and amend many laws and regulations, but we ourselves are the government to protect our earth. So let's try to stop the pollution and be ourselves be a part of the solution. So now moving on to my task, I myself and UL Space Club is extremely honored and thankful to Dr. Lisa ma'am for this contemplative enlightening session. Thank you, ma'am. I immensely thank our founder and mentor Kutty sir and Shajil sir for their support and guidance. Role of organizing committee is very important in organizing any event. So I thank all the members of UL Space Club student panel for being a helping hand of this event. Moreover, I would like to express my gratitude to all the esteemed delegates and students for their presence and contribution to make this webinar a great success. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
It's a very fantastic day, very nice day, Lisa madam. You have made the day very, very active and very lively, very lively.